Sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go nowhere, say yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go nowhere.
Welcome back, we back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to the hit manga that vanished from history. This is the Masked Man video. Oh, this about Zatch Bell. Damn, bro, I do wonder what happened to Zatch Bell. I remember watching the anime. I can't remember when it was, but I think it was on Toonami. And I used to have a video game, so I am kind of interested to see what happened to this. I think it's underrated.
Some stories leave an indelible mark, staying in the spotlight of culture for decades, constantly referenced and celebrated. But others, even after achieving incredible success, seem to vanish, slipping away from public memory. One such manga sold over 23 million copies, yet today it's rarely brought up in discussions. Not long ago, I was chatting with friends and asked, what's a series you think has completely disappeared from history? Without hesitation, someone said Zatch Bell, and just like that, a rush of memories hit everyone else in the call. They all agreed. This manga was a phenomenon that time forgot. Then they told me you have to make a video on it or else. Before disappearing like Joel Embiid in the playoffs, Zatch Bell had a run that made waves. The original manga series created by Makoto Raikou ran from 2001 to 2007, with 323 chapters, while the anime aired from 2003 to 06, with a total of 150 episodes. Out of those, 139 stayed almost exactly true to the manga, until the story took a different turn towards the end. It even had video games for the Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. Feeling old yet? By 2008, it had sold a massive 22 million copies, and by 2017, that number had slowly climbed to 23.8 million. It's probably even higher now. But what made this series so beloved in the early 2000s? The story follows two main characters, Kiyomaru, a super genius middle school loner, and Zatch Bell. In the manga, he's called Gash, but I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be, or if it's just a mistranslation, kind of like Guts with the Big Sword Man. Although it just dawned on me that it could have just been changed for English audiences, since Gash sounds a little bloody. So for the sake of this video, I'll stick to calling him Zatch. This little bundle of joy was found wounded in the forest, with no recollection of who he is, and is sent to Kiyomaru by his father in the hopes to help guide Kiyomaru through life, and so that his son can figure out the context of this mysterious red book, which he can't be bothered with. I have a son named Kiyomaru. It seems that recently he's become a sissy due to his intelligence. Can you help him no longer be a sissy? Yes. By the way, that's real dialogue from the first 5 pages. Zatch can do a lot of things, inspire Kiyomaru to make friends, rock a duffel bag as his go-to outfit, and oh yeah, shoot the wrath of Zeus out of his mouth. He's a creature known as a Momoto, hailing from the demon realm, and every 1,000 years, 100 of these beings are summoned to participate in a grand battle royale to determine the next demon king. Here's the twist. Each Momoto needs a human partner to unlock their powers. The more they fight and bond with their human, the stronger they become, unlocking new abilities along the way. It's kind of like Pokemon. Don't believe me? Well, Zatch here is basically an electric type. And there are 2 ways to beat a Momoto. Either you burn their book, which sends them back to the demon realm, separating the book holder and the Momoto, or you beat them to death. This series screams 2000s battle shonen, and that's not an insult. Amazing. The humor, the willpower of the main characters, the music, and the voice actor for Zatch in the English dub is Jimmy Neutron. It takes you back to when you would record Soulja Boy songs on your DS so you could listen to them later.
Bro, Jimmy Neutron was really his voice actor? That's fire. You know more, you learn more every day.
It doesn't reinvent the wheel in terms of story beats. I can confidently say that Zatch Bell holds its own against shonen heavyweights of that era like Naruto, Bleach, Siren, and Gintama. Oh, but surely that's just nostalgia, you say. Nope. I discovered this series only 2 months ago. At first, I thought the praise was just people clinging to their memories from their Beyblade playing days, but as I read more, it became clear. This story gets better and better as it progresses. While it does take a little time to hit its stride, Zatch Bell is a quick and satisfying read, perfect for binging. The anime has its charm, but as with most shonen of that time, with Gintama being the glaring exception, the manga's pacing is leagues better. The premise is perfect for the era, with a villain of the week formula that works naturally within its world, and then changes to something far better. Alliances and rivalries feel earned, shaped by the convictions of the characters that they then reveal in battle. And at the core of it is Zatch himself. striving to become a kind-hearted demon king, a goal that sets the tone for the series' mix of action and heart. Kiyomaru creates a fantastic dynamic with Zatch, with both aiding each other's growth. Zatch, for the most part, is like Luffy, a character who matures and progresses, but remains fundamentally the same at their core. Kiyomaru, however, undergoes substantial change, evolving into someone who can inspire others in his own right, and we get to witness that transformation firsthand. All that bullshit was to basically say it's hype. In terms of comedy, Kiyomaru often plays the straight man to Zatch's antics, occasionally using his brains to bail him out of trouble, since Zatch is a bit dumb and naive at times. But what kind of asshole gets mad at a child for behaving like a child in an anime?
These bitches are dumb! They're just dumb! I just don't.
While the humor overall becomes less frequent, especially by the final arc, other characters maintain the series' lighthearted tone. The duo complements each other perfectly. Zatch's strong-headed determination pushes Kiyomaru to make tough decisions and persevere, while Kiyomaru's strategies help them overcome opponents where brute strength alone won't cut it. Admittedly, the fights can start to feel formulaic, and you may even predict some outcomes, but each battle still manages to land, with the standout fights, especially involving key characters, becoming some of my all-time favorites. As the series progresses, the supporting cast gets more opportunities to shine. Whether it's Kanchome and Fulgore, Tia and Megami, or my personal favorites, there's plenty of character moments to appreciate. And yes, you can probably guess my favorite. Is it the horse, the Yu Yu Hakusho lookalike, or the edgy bastard? Joke's on you, it's all three, but yeah, Brago takes the crown. The cast isn't quite on the level of Ippo or Gintama, though in fairness, those series are much longer, but I was pleasantly surprised by how often characters are brought back into the story and remain integral, even through the grand finale. And of course, the power of friendship is strong with this one. It works well in Zatch Bell though, since the power and spells come directly from the user's emotions. At least there's some logic behind these second wind moments in battles, which is so frequent in that type of series, especially during that time. Eventually, these mysterious stone tablets are found, and the revelation of an exact copy of Zatch is out there causing mayhem. Everybody's favorite trope, the main character but better and stronger because he's evil. I wonder if the opposite's ever been done. Like, it's just like, the evil version pops up, but he just sucks, and he's nowhere near as good, like, at all. Well, there is Dark Souls 2. Listen, I don't give a fuck how many videos come out saying that it's good. That genjutsu will not work on me. I apologize. Anyways, this actually ends up being my favorite villain in the series and builds up the mystery to Zatch and his origins, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The first 100 chapters, while fun, pale in comparison to what comes after. As more Momoto are eliminated, the stakes rise, the opponents grow stronger, and the outcomes of the fights shift from predictable victories to gut-wrenching losses. That said, if there is one gripe I have, it's the plot armor. Sure, every series has some, but in Zatch Bell, it happens often enough to stretch my suspension of disbelief into full-blown disbelief, especially when the final antagonist shows up and you start thinking, why didn't they just appear earlier and wipe everyone out by episode 6? But we'll get to that later. It isn't something that makes the series fall apart, but it's something I picked up on. Maybe it's a nitpick, but oh well. I wish I could speak more to the influence and impact this series had, since others such as Bleach, Kenshin, Fist of the North Star have been directly cited as inspirations for super successful anime and manga that came after. But I couldn't find anything in regards to popular manga that were inspired by Zatch Bell. While I don't deny the possibility, I also don't want to make any cheap connections. If there are any manga that you know that were inspired by Zatch Bell, please let me know in the comments, and if you like the production of the video, a like and subscribe would be awesome. I do believe, however, the series benefits from new ones that take clear inspiration, since even though it won't move the needle enough to make it trending again, having it referenced or mentioned will only bring a new set of eyes to something of the past. The lack of that and the lack of any real successful franchising past the PS2 era could very well explain why the series has sort of faded into obscurity. It could easily be made into a good RPG type of video game, but anime games are failing enough with far more popular IPs. It's almost like people are tired of jank arena fighters. But without a doubt, I think the anime needs a remake. I'm sure the anime is near and dear to the hearts of those who watched it as a kid, but it isn't an adaptation that enhances the source material enough to be mentioned frequently. Groundbreaking works of animation during that time, before or after even, that still get mentioned often to this day. Manga sale-wise, while having an impressive number, sits around the realm of Magi, The Gray Man, Fire Force, Kaguya-sama, Sosa no Furen, and even other.
All those titles are fire. You in good company.
They're very well-known series held in high regard, such as Neon Genesis and Ashita no Joe. Magi and The Gray Man are two series that also suffer from their anime, while the others I mentioned are not only far more recent, but some of them had super successful or even culturally impactful anime that have transcended time. Zatch Bell, much like Magi and the Gray Man, doesn't have the recency or the timeless adaptation that replaces the manga. By the way, to clarify, so that there isn't any misunderstanding, I don't think the Magi anime is bad at all. We've been waiting for a season 3 for how long now? But yeah, there is a sequel series actually going on right now for Zatch Bell, and it has been since 20.
I'm on that. Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah. Now I gotta go back into the rabbit hole. Anyway, continue. God damn it.
22 with 27 chapters, and I haven't heard a single damn thing about it. Well, makes sense, I hardly hear anything about the original series as is.
Right.
It is a product of its time, but it shouldn't be dismissed. It's a great product of its time, especially once the main antagonists of the series come and make their mark. So if you were on the fence about starting this, do it. This is your warning to maybe check out this video instead if you don't want any major spoilers for the second half of the story. It seems the story has 3 major arcs and a bunch of mini arcs in between where it focuses on different characters, but the primary 3 are the Ancient Momoto arc, the Faudo arc, and the Clear No arc. These 3 are where the series is at its best, most intense and most personal. Just a reminder, Momoto are demons, so not all of them look like humans and animals. Some of them look and behave like actual demons, who would have guessed. But all 3 of the arcs mentioned above are some of the best in the demographic, especially Ancient Momoto and Faudo. Remember the stone tablets I mentioned earlier? Those contain the spirits of Momoto that fought in the Battle Royale tournament 1,000 years ago, and are being used by Zophis, one of the 3 major villains in Zatch Bell. And I'm not sure if I have them second or third, for sure not first since we will get into that character in a sec, but Zophis has the ability to control and manipulate the hearts of others, which explains this entire fiasco. And an easily hateable antagonist, and has a personal conflict with Sherry and Brago, since the person that commands Zophis' book is Coco, the long-lost childhood friend of Sherry. You gotta love 2000 shonen, nothing overly complicated, just hard-hitting backstories that do the trick every single time. The other characters that are brought together to form a team against Zophis are given shine, but Sherry and her dynamic with Brago elevated them to my favorite characters on the protagonist side, with the exception of Zatch and Kiyomaru. This series is never dull, and this arc is probably the best example of how good the action is, along with the next major arc, the Faudo arc. This is my favorite arc where Zatch's twin brother Zeno steps into play. The previous arc, Ancient Momoto, had a lot of great moments for the other characters, and had more moving parts involved, but Faudo is extremely personal. What you need to know about Zeno is he is a fucking hater. He despises how Zatch was given the gift of Baozakeru, the power of their father, while Zeno was forced to train and suffer. Classic case of sibling rivalry and envy. So Shiny Form over here needs to prove that he is the superior brother who deserved the power, and Zatch is simply a naive moron with a goal that cannot be possible. Zatch is pushed to his absolute limit in this fight, using the special power inherited by his father, and it almost consumes him completely. But when trying again, he's able to master it, and that's when it's revealed why Zeno wasn't given the power. Zatch's heart could withstand it, but someone like Zeno who was born with too much hatred would have been destroyed. Could the father have just communicated this and avoided the whole damn conflict? Yes, but hey, forget about it. It really is an amazing showdown between Zatch and Kiyomaru versus Zeno and Dufort, and a giant demon which threatens to destroy Japan if they don't stop it in time. The giant demon being called Faudo, hence the name of the arc. Zeno's realization is a heartfelt moment, and displays the series' strengths once again. I was a bit surprised the Zeno fight happened when there was still like 100 chapters left in the manga, and how could the series make things more emotionally captivating when the 2 previous antagonists were super personal? This is where we reach the Clear No arc. This was the villain I was talking about having a bit trouble making sense of, since I don't necessarily have an issue with the backstory and the motivation, although it is a bit lacking, not in terms of creating stakes since he wants to completely eliminate the souls of all the previously defeated Momoto, and by this point many near and dear have been lost, but he really just feels like this grand imposing obstacle that needs to exist. But had he chosen to act earlier, it would have been game over and nothing would have stopped him. His existence felt like it needed far more build-up than we got, especially compared to someone like Zeno. Still, the arc itself is incredible with the tension given what is at stake, and the introduction of not just Clear Note but also Gorm, a teleporting jump scare. So the duo of someone who can jump in and out at any moment, and the other who can negate powers ends up being deadly. But even though I don't find Clear to be as good as Zeno was, it's undeniable the person demands attention. It's like the final boss in an RPG game. You go from fighting local beasts and sorcerers to evil god cosmic Megadeth. I mean, look at this final form. Tell me when you started the series you expected something like this to pop up.
The nigga is fighting Exodia. What the fuck is going on? What is happening? Yo, bro, I gotta read Zatch Bell. And I gotta see if I can find anime. See, this is what Crunchyroll need to do. They need to go get the old anime, bro. Go get it, bro. Get the rights to it so I can go watch it. I don't feel like having to go to Hot Dive and all this other dumb Netflix. Like, bro, no. Monopolize the anime. Let's get back into it.
And it takes an effort from everyone to cross the finish line, only raising the stakes more and more as every life is put on the line. The ultimate clash to determine the fate of every character we have known and the title of Demon King. And Zatch is able to come out on top through sheer determination, and even though it is a meme, yes, because of the friends he made along the way and the power of friendship. But, like all good things, it must come to an end. Having Zatch return to the demon realm and the two partners have to say goodbye was not what I was expecting at all. It was an emotional end to a series full of defeats and triumphs. The heart and resilience of the characters is infectious, and once it's all over, it gives you that same feeling when you beat your first Pokemon game, when you finished your first long anime, saying goodbye to that friend that you made on vacation and never saw again. I'm sure many of you who are watching this video watched it at a time in their life when things were much more simple, but even someone like me who just recently gave it a shot, that nostalgic feeling punched me in the face. It's a damn shame that this series isn't brought up more, since the way it executes highly on all of those things from 2000 shonen we grew up on, with its great ending, makes it timeless.
Alright, that was a great video. Yeah, so this is the masterpiece that vanished from history. Again, I just got very fond memories of the series, especially playing the game like back to back. When it came out, I was on that. The PS2 game, on that. Forever on it. Like, that was one of them games for me. And then to see it end, well, not even end, but when you know how Toonami goes. Like, if the show get aired and you a kid, bro, you don't know what's really going on, bro. The show there, when it's there, it's available, you have fun. When it's gone, damn, what happened to this? And as you see what happened. But I'm gonna be on Zatch Bell too. I gotta finish Zatch Bell, the original, cause it's fire. This nigga's fighting Obelisk. Nigga fighting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Well, that's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video, share your comments on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop on this channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
Everything I see and I achieve it, bitch, we best. Everything I see and I achieve it, bitch, we best. Everything I'm seeing, I achieved it, bitch, you best believe it. It has been my Nintendo switch it, though, kick it with my kinfolk. Haters just be talking, so I really do not need their info. Yeah, they info. Yeah.